Hello and welcome everyone. This is Alok and welcome to my coding network. This is the second video of the Java series and the part 2 of the basics of Java. Hope you guys must be doing great. Without wasting much time, let's get started from where we left in the previous video. And after this video, we are going to write our first program in Java. If you remember, we were talking about Java tokens. Why I am emphasizing on Java tokens? Because these are the most important part of any. Without these individual units, no program can be written in any language. So there are five types of token. The first one is known as identifier. The second one keywords. The third one literal. The fourth one is separators, and the fifth one is operators. So let us now explore all these five tokens. So the first thing under tokens is identifiers. Identifiers, as the name suggests, they are used to identify a particular entity in a program. So, in much simpler word, you can understand it the identifier as a name of a particular object in a program. Okay, so there are several conventions for writing an identifier. They are basically naming conventions. So, I will attach a link in the description about the naming convention. So, for the time being, you just understand that to write a to write an identifier, you need a sequence of alphanumeric characters. For the naming convention, you can check the description. Moving on further, in identifiers, we have several types of identifiers such as variable, functions, class, and many more. In this video, we are going to talk about the first three, which are variable, function, and class. Uh, why we are talking about these three? Because these are very important parts of any program. Firstly, if we talk about variables you can understand them as containers. They are basically containers in a program. They are used to store some values. So the space and type of data which is going to be stored in the variable is decided by data type. Data type decide about what type of data is going to be stored, and data types also decide what will be the capacity of the variable. I'm going to upload a dedicated video on data type because it is a very important topic. But for the time being, just take these three examples. So these are the three examples which will make you understand clearly that what is basically variable and data type. So you can see in the first example that we are having int a is equal to 11. You can also read it as int a is equal to 11. So a over here is variable. It is basically a container which stores the value 11, and int is the data type which decides integer value is going to be stored inside the variable a. If we take the second example, over here we are having a data type string. Variable name we have kept it as st is equal to, and the value which is going to be stored inside the uh, variable is going to be my coding network. String data type is usually used to store any combination of characters, um, any combination of valid characters inside double quotes. Okay, so over here I could have also stored this value 56.876 within double quotes, or I could have also written my coding network combined with 56.876 in double quotes. Whatever we are going to store and in a string variable has to be in double quotes. Third example we are having is the float data type. We can store decimal values inside float variable. Okay. So as you can see, we have stored 56.876 in the. We have stored a decimal value inside this deck variable. Okay. So now let us understand that what is functions. You must have seen in the overview video of the Java series where we have a dedicated topic of functions. So by definition, a function is compound set of executable statement to carry out some specific task. Right? If we move on further, the name of the function is given by the user. Now remember these two very important points. So the functions also have some data type. So if you remember, in variable, data type used to define what type of data is going to be stored inside the variable. But over here, data type decides that what type of value is the function going to return. A function defined with void keyword means that it is not going to return any value. Okay, so let's move further talking about the syntax of functions. So this is a very basic type of functions are defined in much more advanced way. But as we are beginners, I have taken a very basic syntax of functions. Firstly, we are having a return type. Secondly, we are having the function name followed by parameters enclosed inside brackets. Okay, the function may or may not have parameters. These brackets can also be written without the parameters. In simple words, parameters can also be called as inputs of the function. Whether we need to define any parameter or not, it depends upon what type of code is being written inside function. Now coming on to the third part of identifier, which is class. So by definition, class is a group of similar objects. So and this is and given below, this is the syntax of class. Firstly, we are having the keyword class and followed by the class name, and after it we are having the body of the class and inside which the codes will be written. Get a better understanding of this term class when we'll do our first coding in the Java series. So with it, we have completed the first part of Java tokens, which is identifiers. With this, we will be concluding the part 2 of the basics of Java. We will talk about keywords in the part 3 video of the basics of Java. Now we are ready to write our first program. In this, we'll be using the concept of identifiers, which we have just studied for writing this program. Further, in the part 3 of the basics of Java, we'll be covering the remaining topics such as keyword separators, literals, operators, basics. Thirdly, I'm going to upload a video on data type, which I talked about when we were discussing variables. So now we are going to stop over here and see you in the upcoming videos.